Hey guys, welcome back to Ultimate Trader. Wanted to do a quick recap of today's price action in the S&P 500. So this is a chart of the ES mini futures, 5-minute chart. But it's the same chart if you're looking at spiders, and you can even kind of correlate it with NASDAQ, triple Qs, Russell, Dow, any of the indexes. But certainly the spiders and the ES are basically the exact same chart, as they're both based on the S&P 500. But anyway, wanted to just go over a couple things here. I think it's good time to mention it. So over the last few days, we've had some selling in the ES. So this is a daily chart. So each bar obviously represents a day. And today is this last one right here that we're looking at. But obviously you can see that we've had some pretty significant selling. So we had made this high up here and then come down, bounce back up, came down, tried to bounce, and so on. So what happened today that makes it relevant? Well, you can see that this is the beginning of the overnight, the Globex session. So this is the previous day. You can see yesterday's price action sold off as well, came in, made the low, and then basically, if you look at the Globex low, as of this morning, it was, I don't know if you can see that, but 45.14.50. And so when we came in, this is the regular session, the market rallied very aggressively, pulled back, made a new high up at this 45.94 half type thing. So you know, if you look at the Globex low versus the high, you know, we rallied 80 points, right? So it's a pretty good rally. But then this happened, and so that's kind of why I wanted to do the video. So for any of you that don't know, we have a Twitter account that we post things on here. So basically, early in the session, it was looking pretty bullish, as you saw. Let me just find it here. So right around here, this is at 11:36. I put in a tweet that said that we were 45.79 bid. This is not financial advice, by the way. This is not soliciting you to buy or sell any security. I have to make sure I say that. So we're just documenting our own trades, and we put out that we were 45.79 bid. Excuse me. And I was saying that I thought it was an intraday inflection point, and that even though it was only a 50-50 odds trade, in my opinion, I thought there was 3R potential, meaning 3 times your risk. So if you're risking $500, had the potential to make $1,500. So, but that kind of petered out. So what happened is that I was watching NASDAQ, and NASDAQ, I kind of said, was acting like a wet blanket on ES, and I said I won't be leaving my bid in, meaning this tweet that I just talked about, if the NASDAQ can't hold, because it kind of really slowed up, and it started acting really sluggish. Then I went on to say that I was 79, or from the original tweet that I was 79 bid, I said I was out because I hated the price action. And here's where the market turned. So I said, you know, and this is not a pre-planned trade, so I couldn't put out that I was working an offer. I sold a breakdown. So I was short at 45.74. Tried to emphasize it's a high risk, meaning high risk, high reward. Scaled out 45.66 of a third. Later, I scaled out of another third at 60.75, and then I got out of the balance around 64 because the market just would not go down, and we sat there for an hour. I'll show you what I mean here. So basically, I was talking about potentially trying to get long in here, and then I really hated the action in the NASDAQ, and I canceled it. And then when we broke down here, I shorted 74, which is right here. So we did go down, and that's where I was covering, but we went sideways here for an hour. And it just didn't look like we were going to go down anymore at that point. The NASDAQ was kind of holding its low, its support, and it could have gone either way. But, you know, I really figured that it wouldn't take this long. And then we got this kind of crazy bar back up. I was already out of the trade. I had just exited the last little bit right here. But what happened was we got this immediate huge rejection. So once we got that, we got it on such massive selling pressure that I even shorted 58, and I put it on Twitter too. I'll show you here just so you guys know. So I said here 45.58, high risk, high reward. Now, I immediately kind of got out of it because it was news. I thought it was news. What I was saying here, or what I was trying to say, is it looks like it was a news reaction. In other words, something came across the tape and just slammed the market back down. That was based on news. I didn't know that. I don't have a news service. I just kind of glance at Twitter occasionally. But anyway, so I kind of canceled it, unfortunately. I mean, obviously I wish I didn't, but anyway, that was the sale. I wanted to make sure if it was news-based, a lot of times what will happen is you'll get some huge move and then it'll reverse back up to where it kind of started because the news kind of wears off. But anyway, such is life. And then we got this massive selling, and I'll show you what I mean when I say massive selling pressure. So this is the NYSE tick, which most of you will know, but you can see up until that point it had been very negative, and that this is the hour that I was in that trade, and it just would not go down, even with the tick being very negative. So then that's the rally that happened, and then basically immediately it just slammed back down. Now you can see that these yellow dots indicate a new low on the day in the tick, and that was pretty aggressive. I mean, this is minus 1,000 for anybody who follows the tick. We're talking minus 11, 1,200, and it didn't budge. And this was right where I sold the 58s and then got out of it, unfortunately. You know, again, it's when something I just assumed, because usually that's very rare for something like that to happen. If the market's holding and NASDAQ was holding support and then we rally up, it's kind of over at that point usually. You almost never see something like this unless it's off news. But I didn't see news. So if it was, I didn't know about it. I couldn't find it by the time I kind of realized that it wasn't. I couldn't find any news. We're already down here. Very hard to get back on board. So I was aggressively trying, but you can see anyway, I haven't seen this type of negativity in the tick and the pressure on the market where there's literally almost no bounce whatsoever. So if you keep going down here, virtually no bounces. You know, that's pretty rare, to see that type of price action and then along with this. So anyway, why am I telling you all this? Well, you know, normally I'll jinx it when I put out a video kind of giving people a warning. But, you know, basically we've got, back to this daily chart. So this area that broke was major support. So this is a daily, each bar is a day. You can see that we've been selling off, and then, so basically when we came down here, we got a huge bounce, came back, bounced, came back, bounced, and now we have today, which is this last little bar here. This is a very significant break to me. Again, if you're looking at spiders, it'll all line up. You know, just take the low that you'll see on the chart here. It's similar, but this affects the markets, whether it's NASDAQ or, and NASDAQ's been weaker than the S&P. Anybody who's long a bunch of tech stocks and not long the index, I'm sure you're aware of that. Anyway, usually when I do these videos, usually will create a huge bounce, and it, you know, makes you look foolish as usual. But I think it's significant enough to mention, if the market can't recover this area here, and especially even if you see this low here, right around the 45.20 in the ES, it needs to bounce back up here pretty soon. Because otherwise, you know, we've got these lows down here, which is right around 42.50 to 60-ish. That's quite a move, you know. That's another 200 handles down. So I just want to give everybody a heads up here. I think that the bias, I don't think buy the dip's going to work anytime soon. Now, this is a pretty big move just in a relatively short period of time, so I can see a bounce back up. My thing is that if we can't get back above this 45.20-ish, it probably doesn't bode well for the market, and we probably at least go down to this 43.25, 20 to 25 type thing. So just a little bit of a heads up, kind of a warning. Unless we see really huge buying pressure, kind of the reverse of what we saw today, I'll probably be shorting anywhere up around this area. But I don't want to get ahead of myself here. I want to see the price action tomorrow. But might want to be careful on longs here. So while we have had a pretty major move down and we're due for a bounce, we really need to get back above this, like I said a few minutes ago. So just a heads up, the short term is very bearish. The intermediate term is now bearish, and I think this break it makes everything bearish. I mean, so hopefully we get the bounce that I'm talking about, and it reverses, and maybe we see new highs. But as of now, just be careful on longs until we get back above the 45.20, and you can see in the other indexes what this low is. So if you're looking at the NASDAQ, sort of on the same time frame here, or certainly the spiders, obviously, right? So anyway, that's the warning for today. Hopefully this helps, and if you want to follow us on Twitter, we are at Ultimate Trader 5. You can see this handle here. So it's Ultimate Trader 5, one word, obviously, because it's Twitter. And we're not putting out every trade we make, but we're considering a service of sorts. But we're just documenting our trades. We're not recommending you buy or sell anything. But we do put them out in real time, so it's not most of the stuff on Twitter and FinTwitter after the fact stuff. So just wanted to point it out. Give us a follow if you'd like, and if you want to ask a question, just drop the question or comment in the comment section below, and we'll talk to you soon.